everybody. It's been a long time. Here I am, Hina. And I'm going to talk about my pregnancy with her and the birthing experience while I walk this morning on this beautiful Waikiki morning in December. Hawaiian winter weather. We've been experiencing a lot of rain and wind. Today's actually one of the first days that it's sunny. So I'm out getting some exercise and running a couple little errands near my hale, otherwise known as house, or more like apartment. Anyway, so with the pregnancy with Mahina, I was more conscious than my first because, of course, I had already given birth to one, which, of course, is my 3-year-old, Aloha. So with Mahina, I was always really conscious of what I was eating, just as with Aloha. And if I did eat something questionable that was like heavy and made me feel kind of stagnant or sluggish, I would fast dinner, wait to have the BM, bowel movement, and then do an enema. I have a really cool stainless steel enema bucket, which I'm sure you guys have already seen if you've watched my other videos. I have about 20 up now, and it's been a few weeks almost since I've put anything up. I've just been kind of reshifting my focus on musical efforts and projects like that, so I'm really excited to share those with you. But anyways, my experience with being pregnant with her was not the best. I was feeling tired most of the time, and I would nurse Aloha, and it was painful actually, because, you know, being pregnant, you're more sensitive. So my nipples were very sensitive through the whole pregnancy, nursing Aloha, who was 2. And then just that whole time was just like, wow, this is so challenging. But I made it through. I just powered through. I would stick to a really strong meditation while I was nursing and try to stay really positive through the pain. And I would massage her, which would help her go to sleep faster, so I wouldn't have to nurse her as long. So let that be a tip. If your baby, you know, your infant or your toddler, no matter how old they are, massage them. There's even a tapping method on the scalp that a dear friend, Tasha Maile, who is Spiritual Tasha Mama on YouTube. She's amazing. She has like over 400,000, I think, subscribers now and millions of views. But anyway, she gave me the idea with the tapotement, or tapping on the scalp when they're awake, actually, when they wake up in the middle of the night and they're crying or something, or if they're just almost pretty much just fallen asleep but they woke up a little, you tap them on the scalp. But what I'm talking about is massage. So I would do that, you know, just a light children's massage on the shoulders, a little bit on the scalp, mostly on the back, the lower back, because, you know, babies get tense too. They have the same kind of, obviously, you know, genetic makeup and muscles and everything, and they get that tension and they need to get it worked out just as much as adults do. So anyways, I would do that to shorten the nursing time when I was pregnant with Mahina while nursing Aloha, and that really helped. So with both my pregnancies, I had little to no morning sickness. And the reason why is because I eat very clean most of the time, uncooked. And also just, yeah, and I'm doing this on the streets of Waikiki, like people walking by and everything, cars driving by, so sorry it's kind of loud. But yeah, that was mainly the reason why. And also, sometimes I would have green medicine, so some oils, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to get too specific into that, but that would help tremendously. I know it's controversial, so I just don't really want to be controversial because my family does watch this, and, you know, it is what it is. But I am all natural, you know, in everything I do. So anyways, getting back to towards the end of the pregnancy with Mahina, I wanted to have a very, very conscious birth. I didn't want to give birth in the hospital like I did with Aloha, because that was kind of a scarier, actually it was a scary experience. And it shouldn't have been, but I just didn't educate myself as much as I should have. I didn't want to know too much, if you know what I mean, where there would have been anxiety around it. So what I ended up doing there was a natural birth, but I wanted to do a natural at-home water birth with a midwife because I had a place to do it, whereas in my first pregnancy it wasn't the most pleasant environment that I was living in at the time. So anyways, both pregnancies were completely opposite. The first one with Aloha, I was forced to sit in the in the patient bed, and it's not gravitationally correct to birth that way. Any mom that knows that you should be standing in a squatting position, or in a in a pool, in like an inflatable pool, like at-home water birth. So I did that with Mahina, and I decided I would make sure that it was pain-free as possible. So I studied up on orgasmic birthing, and I was able to do that. And what I did was, when I started to have contractions, which I like to call surges, pardon the motorcycles passing by, Waikiki style. So anyways, when I was starting to have surges, of course otherwise known as contractions, I would transmute. I would just literally just focus on transforming or transmuting the pain into pleasure. And when I first started, my partner and I actually made love once, and that really helps to speed up the process of the labor. Actually, doctors recommend that you do that. So I did that. We did that. And then I would do stretches, different kinds of yoga stretches and techniques. I would also do spiraling, which is like movement of the hips. And it really helped every surge as they came closer and closer. And I was in labor about 8 hours, whereas with my first I was in labor about 12. So I cut it a little bit down the second time, but not as much as I would have liked. But yeah, so I kept stretching, doing spirals, like with my hips, moving, keeping myself really comfortable, playing music I loved. I played a lot of Hawaiian music, a lot of like Bretta Is, from the islands, Hawaiian style band, Kalapana, Ka'au Crater Boys, all that good stuff while I was laboring. And then towards the end I played a lot of Maxwell, a lot of neo soul, because that's just the funk. I love that. It was really helping me stay in a good mindset, because that's really what it's about. It's mind over matter. You can transcend the pain. You can, my sisters. And my brothers, be there for your lover, your loved ones. If it's your sister or something, just be, hold a silent, peaceful place, because that's usually what they need. That's usually all they need. And my midwife, she was just doing that for me on the side, because what I actually would do, what I was doing towards the very end, or actually throughout the whole time when the surges got more powerful, I would just stimulate my area. You know what I'm talking about, people. So yeah, I would go ahead and just use my hand and go ahead, and this is kind of funny because I'm walking around and stuff talking about this, but no one can hear me. I just feel kind of silly. But I wanted to put this video out today because it's been so long, and I want to keep going with these videos as much as I can. But my priority is my children, of course, and music. But this is fun. This is a nice gig too, to share and learn. Anyways, so yeah, so I would stimulate my clit, plain and simple. Every single time I would feel a surge with my hand, my fingers, just right over that area, every single time. It's practically like numb towards the end, and my hands were hurting because I would switch off. But my midwife was just sharing space. She was kind of in the other room, basically, but she was there just in case, to kind of, make me feel more comfortable if I needed that. So, if I needed someone in an emergency situation too, of course. Look how gorgeous it is today, folks. Woo! Going by Publix and closing around near Populani Park where they have some tents up. I don't know what they're doing this weekend, but they always have something going on. Well, this week, it's actually Monday, so they have some festivities for Christmas coming around the corner. But anyways, so that's what I would do. And it's really that simple. At least to me it was. I didn't go too far into even researching more than a few orgasmic births. I just went with what I felt was right that day, because I started laboring around 11, midnight the night before, and then I had the baby by 9:30. So it was roughly about 8 hours. And as you can see, her birth was so mellow, so peaceful, that she's super mellow and peaceful. That's the kind of energy that they kind of exude. If their birthing was mellow, that tends to be how their personality is to the core. Aloha's was more anxiety filled. I pushed until I was exhausted till the end. I was just like so tired, and her heart rate was going down, and I had to push really abruptly at the end, and it was kind of scary. And my first is more intense and she's not as chill, and I really believe it's because of the birth. There's books about it, look it up online. I mean, it's so real. How you were birthed is really the personality you tend to take on to the core. Besides the other tools and methods we use with, your astrological readings with the 12th and 13th astrology studies and whatnot. But anyways, that's what was up. That's what I did, and glad I could share that today. And I'm sure I'll talk more about this in the future. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Aloha.